Well, hello. I'm gonna test if this is working and then I'll pull up some stuff. Music is loud, testing again. Welcome in, Fish Peas. Thanks for dropping by. Okay. So, so how do plants work? How do aquatic plants work? How are they different than how are aquatic plants different from terrestrial plants? Do fertilizers made for aquariums work? Well, I've seen some misinformation going around, and I'd like to squash that completely. There are two main things that I want to discuss. First, proving that just because aquatic fertilizers are based in terrestrial plant science doesn't mean that they're not suitable for your aquarium plants. And second, do you need to use fertilizers? Now, the second topic here, do you need to use fertilizers, is pretty straightforward. No. No, you don't. The thing about aquatic fertilizers, or any fertilizers in general, is that a plant can grow without fertilizers. How long it will grow without fertilizers and how healthy it will be are a separate equation, right? So basically, when we're talking about plants and their substrate terrestrially, plants will take up nutrients from what they're in, so their substrate. If a plant, aquatic or terrestrial, is in a substrate that is inert, meaning that it has no nutrients, it can still grow. It will not grow properly, and in the long run, it will die, right? So, when we're looking at a plant that has absolutely no nutrients, we're not going to see it as something that is a problem with the soil. Most people don't think about the substrate when we're thinking about how a plant uptakes its nutrients. Not in when you're gardening, not when you're keeping house plants, and not when you are keeping plants in your aquarium. Now, a lot of people compare aquarium plants to terrestrial plants. And there are different kinds of plants that we put into our aquariums. That is terrestrial plants like pothos and lucky bamboo, philodendrons, the wandering plant, and a bunch of other different kinds of plants that typically we would not grow in water, but can be transitioned into water. Then there are the marginal plants. Marginal plants are plants that are typically on the margins of rivers. Some plants like mangroves are marginal plants. If you do ponds, you might be familiar with rushes and creeping jenny, taro, and papyrus. But there are also marginal plants that we keep in our aquariums. Things like dwarf hairgrass is a marginal plant that can be submerged completely. I'm trying to think of some other examples. There are marginal plants that are completely submerged. Cryptocoryns. Anubias. Bacopa. Hygrophila. Ludwigia, and many more. So those are just some examples of some marginal plants that we have in our aquariums. And then there are truly aquatic plants. Truly aquatic plants, like our Valsinaria. Valsinaria, hornwort, guppy grass, elodias, kimboba, blixa, many more, right? So we have all three types: terrestrial, marginal, and true aquatic plants, right? Okay. All of these plants work in the same way when talking about what nutrients they need. And how they can uptake those nutrients. So let's look at this. This is mechanisms and control of nutrient uptake in plants. This talks about the primary uptake from soil of nutrients from soil into the roots, or in the case of aquatic plants, from their aqueous environment, right? This is basically saying that they have the same transportation process across all types of plants. Um, and these nutrient uptake systems are universal across all plants, right? And this is what this article explains. So, the very foundation of what we're trying to look at, which is if all plants take nutrients the same way. So, in aquatic plants, we are focused more on our plants taking nutrients from the water. So, that is also possible in terrestrial plants. This is called foliage feeding. And we see this a lot with orchids and Hoyas when we're looking at houseplants. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about this in orchid grower communities, but this is also how they would uptake nutrients in a wild setting, right? So where they're naturally from. So it's not just aquatic plants that have this mechanism of being able to take nutrients from their surroundings and in their leaves, right? So both or all three can all of them take up nutrients in the same ways. We, as people who are growing plants in our aquarium, are more focused on plants that I'm sorry. We, as people who grow plants in our aquariums, are more focused on the plants that are getting the nutrients from the water. This is why people typically use liquid fertilizer in their aquariums. All right, let me take a drink of water. Hello, Mike. How are you today? Yes, Cosmos. Every single terrestrial plant has the ability to take up nutrients from its leaves. Also, there are plants like hydrangeas that can take up nutrients from their flowers. This is evidenced by when you have a hydrangea that's flowers are wilting. If you soak that flower in water and take it out, it will have absorbed the water from its flowers and have stopped wilting. We can also see this in vegetables when you put vegetables in cold water when they're wilting. So now that we know that plants of all kinds, and by all kinds I mean terrestrial, marginal, and aquatic, have the same abilities to take up nutrients. We're going to talk about nutrient requirements. This is a study that talks about nutrient availability, use. This is the title. Nutrient availability and nutrient use efficiency in plants growing in the transition zone between land and water, those marginal plants. So we get to see the best of both worlds in marginal plants. And this is why I pulled this one up. It says, highly dynamic. This proves that the three types of plants, these ones are, this is comparing to what they're calling amphibious, which we're calling aquatic, and marginal, and terrestrial. It's generally higher. We found that it was generally higher in submerged species, and C and CP ratios indicated the content was limited for growth in CA. 24% of plant individuals, particularly ones, is predicted. Served, we suggest. This proves that aquatic and marginal plants don't have a unique or separate nutrition requirement. Even though it says species of amphibious and terrestrial species groups are likely to benefit more from enhanced nutrient development in terms of faster growth compared to aquatic species, and that this can be detrimental to aquatic species growing in the land water ecotone. Land water ecotone. Ecotone. I was wondering what that said. That would be marginal plants. So even though it says that, what we're focusing on here is that they have tested that they all take up the same nutrients. Okay. We'll get into this in a bit. But my next point is the aquarium fertilizers are specifically formulated for aquatic conditions. Even though they are inspired by terrestrial plant science, they have been modified for aquatic environments. So the plants in our fish tanks, right? This study that I have pulled up, um, So here they're comparing 4 aquatic plants. All 4 species exhibited a strong preference of ammonium nitrogen over nitrate nitrogen and nitrate nitrogen and nitrate nitrogen. Main pathways of nutrient removal. Let's examine the direct assimilation by plants accounted for 28.2 to 34.5 of N reduction, and estimated that direct assimilation by plants accounted for 28.2 to 34.5% of N reduction. So basically, this is proving that these plants are taking these nutrients out of the water. And proves that ammonium nitrogen ammonium nitrogen isn't used typically in aquatic fertilizers because it can kill our fish. But just because it prefers ammonium nitrogen doesn't mean that it won't use these, which what we use is NO3 in our fertilizers. But this does not disprove that they use this does not disprove that this is something that we can use. It states that ammonium nitrogen is preferred, but in general, this states that when they still use these things, right? Going back to my point, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. That we can see in the science that nitrate NO3 is something that plants take up, right? Oh my goodness. I'm so unorganized. I'm sorry, y'all. This just shows, this is talking about use these macrophytes. Macrophytes are free-floating macrophytes. I think they're talking about, let's see. I'm sorry. I read these a couple of days ago. My notes are not helping me right now. Phosphate phosphorus was present in high levels but was effectively reduced through the wetlands. Retention of phosphate phosphorus ranged only from 0.1 to 0.10 ppm year. In the treatment, when wetlands dissolved oxygen in the wetlands outflows were in 3 of the sampled wetlands, most likely a result of the abundant free-floating macrophytes that sheltered the water from diffusion and shaded aquatic productivity. This is just going on to my point that says that since the last study didn't really love marginal plants, didn't give love to them at all, this is just showing that they indeed also take up nutrients the same way. Now, scientific studies have been done on fertilizers with aquarium plants. This is one of them. This is the effect of hydroponic fertilizers on the growth of aquarium plants. This is specifically talking about Valsinaria natans. So the abstract states Valsinaria natans is one of the favorite aquarium plants for making aquascape. This study aims to determine the effect of hydroponic fertilizer on the growth of V. natans. The research used a completely randomized design with 4 treatments and 4 replications. Treatment A without hydroponic fertilizer with a TDS of 47 mg L -1, and treatment using hydroponic fertilizer at a TDS level of 87, 127, and 167. V. natans was grown for 45 days. The parameters measured include the length, growth of leaf, and water quality. Conditions including TDS, temperature, and pH. The results showed that the pH and water temperature conditions were still within the tolerable range for growth of V. natans. The water temperature ranged from pH, growth rate, treatment. Sorry, you can read all this. I've linked it in the Discord. Increasing the levels of hydroponic fertilizer tended to increase length growth of leaf according to the model. Okay. This is showing they used fertilizer and it made the leaves grow. So it literally is just saying, yeah, it works. So my point in this is that there's been some misinformation going around about our beloved fertilizer. And I wanted to point out, just because something is rooted in terrestrial plants science does not mean that it cannot be adapted to be suited to aquatic plants. And again, this is not making a case for having to buy extra fertilizers. There are plenty of other options, but you can there's many different methods of giving inert substrate nutrients. I mean, anything from Father Fish's method and Diana Wallstead's to having no soil and putting just detritus. There's also more sophisticated methods like using aqua soils and fertilizers, not together. If you're using an aqua soil, you don't typically have to fertilize that much unless you're dealing with Valsinaria. It eats all the nutrients out of the soil very quickly and depletes it rather quickly. Root tabs can be used for heavy feeding plants, specifically like Valsinaria. And do you like my root tabs for Valsinaria? Do you have to use them? No. You can just use a regular liquid fertilizer or one of the 100 other methods. So you don't have to buy liquid fertilizers or root tabs. Science is good. I hope that even with my stumbling through everything here, that y'all can understand my point. All plants work in the same way. They take up the same nutrients. And just because something is rooted in one science doesn't mean it can be adapted to another. Also, I hope that y'all can't hear my fish tank that's right in front of me super bad. I'm looking for ways to baffle the sound, including getting a lapel mic so you won't hear it as bad. But these are all improvements that I'll be making little by little in the coming future. Well, I'm up at my hour. I will be streaming either in a couple of hours or when I wake up for Madaka in the morning. I will be streaming on Wednesday, probably after New Local Austin, if he is going. I hope he is. I will be live again this time next Sunday. And I'll see you in the morning. Thank y'all so much for either being here in the chat or watching me on the replay. And if you have any questions, I hope that you put them in the comments when this is re-uploaded. But it's been great talking to y'all about one of my favorite subjects, which is plants. I might do this in a little bit more organized way and kind of like take what I have here and kind of like edit it a bit so y'all can watch it in like a 15-minute video. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah. I'm going to let this run to the hour mark and then I'm going to hop off for a while. Thank y'all. All right, I've hit the hour mark. So if you're still here, I really appreciate you. Replay people. Again, if you just came in and you're hearing me saying my goodbyes, this was an in-depth live stream about fertilizer. So I highly recommend going to the beginning. Just skip like the first 15 minutes because I was setting up. And I went through a whole bunch of scientific papers and I was really not organized at all. And but it has some really good information. So I highly recommend it. All right. Thank y'all so much. I'll see you in the morning. Bye.